Hello, this is Elin Petronella from the Charles and Ellen Academy, and I'm back with another Stitch and Chat with me in real time. I'm really enjoying these slow, intimate, cozy stitch sessions. Haven't been as frequent as I was hoping, but the last week they just wiped me out. And part of this new season, if you will, is just learning to embrace that. And I think that this is probably an ongoing journey as I speak with other artists and especially with other mother artists, just recognizing that productivity and process looks different now, and it's a matter of embodying it and embracing and not getting hung up on what we don't do instead of actually thinking about what we do get to do. Embroidery, no matter whether you have small children at home or not, embroidery is this wonderful medium that allows you to anchor, truly anchor in the present. So whenever it feels like everything is running ahead of you, where you just feel like, oh my God, I'm drowning, each stitch becomes like a remedy where you just, your whole nervous system is able to exhale. And that is really, really what I'm reconnecting with in this season. And I truly hope that if you haven't tried embroidery yet, that you will be able to experience that too. And if you have tried, you probably know it already. You can let me know in the comments below. What I have in front of me, before I just start talking too much, I just want to show you the upcoming May design in our pattern program. I'll put a link in the description below for more information. This time I decided, instead of just doing the typical architectural scene of an outdoor space that I usually do, I wanted to create something that I wanted to escape into. I wanted to create something that reflected what I need right now. And so that is where I just wanted to show you the process of that. So this is like a cozy sanctuary full of books. I love reading, and I've actually started to read more physical books this time because I want my girls to see me read physical books. We have loads of books in our house. They're scattered all over. Not this many. That would maybe be too much with small children around, though I would definitely see myself have these many books in my own study in the future. But yeah, I suppose it's part of the process of how to invite the kids into the artistic and creative process physically and concretely. So much is taking place online today that, you know, we actively have to find ways to just reconnect, land. Embroidery is one way, drawing is another, but also reading physical books. And so I just made up this scene inspired from a photograph I saw somewhere that I don't even remember where, unfortunately. And I just went wild and added in loads of additional books in there. You've got the armchair. Maybe you can sit there and do embroidery as well. A little balcony. First I was playing with the idea of adding greenery out here as well, but I thought that would be a bit too much, because thinking of the translation into embroidery, greenery tend to have more volume than just stitching contours, which means it would be like very, very much volume in here, but or technically out there, which just didn't feel well balanced with the overall scene. So that was how my process went with that. I then did a photocopy of my original hand drawing. So all our patterns that I'll put a link to that as well in the charlesandellen.com. All the unique patterns are always hand drawn first. So that's why they're not these neat, perfect AI generated stuff. No, all of them are hand drawn, and then I photocopy it, and like this, I'm able to transfer it onto my fabric. Yeah, I just ripped it around. I've been using the carbon paper method to transfer it. In case you're wondering or curious about the carbon paper method, have a look at the last Stitch and Chat where I transferred in real time this design. So here, this is how it looks like when it's stitched completely. I decided to use, you can see I decided to use the same fabric again. This is a cotton linen blend that my husband bought, and I actually really enjoyed stitching on it. The key thing is just to figure out and find fabric that is non-stretched and non-see-through so that it works well for neat architectural sceneries. So yeah, I also thought that the color of this, like beige, made the scene feel a bit more cozy. All right, so it's not super complicated, this one. I am going to focus especially on backstitch. As always, when there are small spaces, or especially and rounded shapes, backstitch allows you maximum flexibility, in the sense that the shorter you make your stitch, the more you can control the line, the more you are able to make smooth rounded shapes, etc. So my daughter has been playing around a little bit with this, and she was touching all over. So some of the lines have kind of smeared a bit. So I always tend to use my pattern kind of as a visual reference next by, and to just look, in case I find that it's a little bit difficult to see exactly where the line is, I can always just look back, say, okay, so that is the side of the armchair, and we've got the little table and the coffee cup there. I then go back, and I'm able to more confidently stitch it in place. I know that the fact of some of the lines sometimes becoming a bit blurry is one of the reasons why not everybody loves the carbon paper transfer method the same way that I do. And I completely understand and respect that. I think the main thing when you are doing any type of art, truly, whatever medium you are using, the most important is that you use techniques that feels fun, right? That you feel energized and not drained when you're doing it. Because if you feel like this is just another chore that you need to get done, at least I feel like that sometimes with a lot of self-care practices. When I became a mother, it was like, oh, you need to make sure to take care of your mental health, and you need to do this and this and this and this. And it just became another list of things I had to do, as if I didn't already have a lot to do. And so it was just not joyful. And that's when I realized, you know what, like the key thing, whether in art, whether in like truly any area of life, if you don't enjoy it, it's not going to fuel you there, then just why keep punishing yourself through it, especially if it's something that has the purpose of making you feel better. So yeah, I've accepted that embroidery is still my soul food, and I'm just gonna let my nervous system get healed and steady one stitch at a time. And for me, transferring with carbon paper is part of that. I do find it very fun. I enjoy to redraw my design, and I kind of enjoy how lines don't get perfectly translated or transferred, how it gets sometimes a little bit wobbly, because, well, that is just part of the charm, right? One thing that I find amazing is how, even though there are thousands at this point of people around the world who have done one or multiple of my embroidery designs, none of them look exactly like another. And isn't that just beautiful? You can adapt and change however you like it. And when we are transferring the patterns, as opposed to, for example, having a pre-printed fabric with the design on it. Oh, sorry. I pulled a bit too hard, so the needle, the thread went out of the needle. By the way, this is not a cut. It feels like in the video it must look really terrible. My daughter was playing with a red, what's the word in English? In Swedish we would say tuschpenna, but in English I think it's like and in French it's a feutre. In English, so we've got 3 languages going on daily at home, so sometimes my mind just forgets vocabulary in all languages. And this is one of those points. But anyway, she was playing with a pen, sort of pen, and was just drawing everywhere on herself and clearly on her mommy too. And first I was hesitant, like, oh my god, I cannot film the stitch and chat today because this will look terrible. But then I reminded myself gently that, you know, there is never a perfect moment, and whenever the urge comes, the opportunity gives itself, that's when I'll do it. So that's the backstory of that. Please do not worry. I will just finish up this backstitch line. I don't want this video today to be too long. But you can see that I'm kind of jumping relatively freely around. It's not like I'm religiously following a certain line. Here I first did this rounded shape of the armchair that's coming here, and then I jumped down to just fill out the back contour of the armchair as well. The main reference, if you will, is that I just try to avoid too long traveling lines on the back side. A traveling line is essentially the stitch that you're going to see on the back side. You don't want to have your needle and work here and then pull a long traveling line on the back and continue working here. Then it's better to attach it and then start over on the other side. But as long as you are working on adjacent lines, then don't feel contained that you have to do it in a certain order, or, you know, making it, in a perfect process. Where you feel called to stitch, that's the perfect place to keep going. It's all about allowing yourself to get into flow, trust yourself that you know where to place your lines and your stitches. So many of our students in the Cosy and Elin Academy come to me with, they want almost like a formula, like a step-by-step, exactly like, okay, do you start on the left side, on the right side, which line do you do first? And I'm trying always to invite to enjoy the process, you know, trust your instinct, trust your gut. Do you work the way that feels natural and that you feel naturally called to do, and that is going to be just perfect. We are doing this for the sake of the process. That is the whole point. Then the bonus is that you have a beautiful artwork at the end that you can use in many different ways, whether you turn it into beautiful artwork on your wall, or if you hang it, if you turn it into a patch on a bag or on a pillow, maybe making it into a pillow cover for the armchair right here, you know, but that is a bonus on the top. The main thing is the process, the enjoyment, the experience that you get of doing it. So I'm arriving now to the end of my floss. This one lasted long. I feel like I was able to chat for several minutes, just making one thread. So as you can see, by the way, I'm doing single-stranded backstitch to really capture this vibe that it's a touchable drawing. And well, if you're familiar with my work, that's my go-to. I just love it. I just love it. I'm turning around. I'm also the make a little knot on the back type of girl. You know, why complicated? So there we go. I made a little knot. I'm gonna cut it off right away. I'm actually gonna cut this one off as well. Usually I try to always be neat and cut them off right away, as opposed to letting them lie around. But that's fine. We're stretching. All right. I'm gonna keep going. Thank you so much for following along with this little impromptu stitch and chat. I hope that I will see you in the next one. If you would like to embroider this pattern as well, it will be out in May, and you can find out either in the pattern program or on our pattern site. I'll put the links to all of that below. On the pattern site, for unique designs, for unique embroidery patterns, we have over 100 to browse through, inspired from our beautiful world. So I'm sure you will be able to find something that catches your eye. And yeah, thank you so much for being here.